Hello, hello, hello. Welcome to Royal Sussex Live. Welcome, one and all. Thank you so much for being here. Okay, let me see who was here first. Fancy. Thank you so much for being here first. Gosh, that is huge. Why is that like that? There we go. That's more like it. Hmm. Mm. Oh, the minimalist. Okay. And then what happened to my background? See what I mean? This thing just is doing whatever it wants to do. That's okay. I'll fix it. I'll fix it. You'll see. Hmm. Proper background. Oh. Oh. Okay. Well, that's weird. What? That. Oh. I tell you, this thing. It has a mind of its own. There we go. The square, the rectangle, the circle. Okay, I think I like the circle. And then it goes back purple again. There we go. All right. Please do not change. Yes, do not change. This is getting on my nerves. All right. Hey, Connie Balmer, Angela M. All right, let's get this porty started. Let's get this porty started. All right, still winning. The Sussexes are still winning. You know, I saw some very feeble attempts from some derangers. Very feeble attempts from the derangers to try to steal the Sussexes' thunder. And then this Russell Myers, um, I think he's serializing his up and coming book about Will and Kate, right? Do you know I just saw a headline that that calls into question whether or not there was a fight with Harry, whether or not he attacked his brother. I don't know if he was instructed to write that in the book or whether Russell Myers decided that on his own. But do they really want around the clock Sussex squad pushback for the numerous inconsistencies and or lies in that book? They are trying to hash up a lot of things. Um, was this coming out anyway, or does this have to do with the files and William looking as guilty as sin? I don't know, but they are playing with fire. They're playing with fire because we always come with. Wait, I need something for sound effects. We always come with receipts. Did you hear that? We always come with receipts. Who do they think they're messing with? Who do they think we are? A little nail from the country? Do they think we just fell off a turnip truck? I don't think so. They are playing with fire. Leave Harry and Meghan alone because the oppositional research from certain individuals who do not work for the Sussexes is endless. You see, the same way people are getting information electronically using social media, that is the same way you push back. You use the same airways, the same fiber optics, the same Wi Fi, whatever. That is how you push back. They love to say that, oh, the internet isn't a real place. It doesn't mean anything. Like hell, it don't. People's fortunes rise and fall based upon what's happening on the interweb. Planes fly by computers, cars drive by computers, right? It is a part of everything now. Oh, I'm sure that book is just crap, especially from Russell Myers. I cannot trust someone who only has one ear. I can't. I cannot trust anyone with one ear because that means they only hear half as much of what's going on. So, no, nay, I won't be taking anything he says as the gospel. A little trick photography of the nighttime. You leave the shutter open, and when people drive through it, kind of throw those waves of light. I always love that. Um, oh, I wanted to share this with you. We need some good news, don't we? I could not wait to share this with you. This is a historic image right here. Very historic. You have to believe we are magic. Okay, it's so historic, I can't even find it. Now that is historic.
Is behind a different type of medical breakthrough. Take a good look at these 5 doctors. More than a portrait, it's a moment suspended in history. For the first time, 5 African American surgeons now lead the trauma service at the preeminent Johns Hopkins Hospital. Tonight, we hear from some of the trailblazers behind this historic team.
My parents are so proud. I am the first physician in my family, and I think it's so impactful.
For Dr. Lawrence Brown, medicine is more than science, it's service.
That's what's important to me. Equity has to remain at the forefront of how we deliver patient care, how we do research, how we scale programs up in our healthcare system.
Dr. Zachary Numa is the result of service that was modeled and purpose that was inherited.
Growing up in Columbus, Georgia in the 1990s, I watched my parents, my mom, a family medicine doc, my dad, a general surgeon, show up to serve patients every day.
For Dr. Ife Shiombo, history isn't just remembered here, it's carried forward.
The best part is that I get to save lives and have an impact every single day. To anyone who's watching, realize that your dream and capacity can only be limited by you. And if you can think it, see it, then you can absolutely reach it.
History making. I'm Lindsay.
Okay, well, that was a report from ABC News. And wow, that is impressive. Wow, that is very, very impressive. How proud they make us. This is just a glimpse of some of those nights the Sussexes have gone on dates, like the most recent one. How about the baseball game? And then, of course, was that a concert where Meghan was wearing all pink? Oh, I can't remember. And then, of course, the bottom right side there, that is when they went to the Schnooks game, or I know it was in Canada, it was hockey. But yeah, that was that occasion. And anyway, they are really like a rom-com. Everything about their relationship is like a romantic comedy. Hallmark should have had no problem casting actors to play these roles because they're so like picture perfect. It's not that life is perfect for them in every way, but just the way they overcome things with their affection for each other is it captures the imagination, I would say. So cheers to them, right? I mean the living embodiment of a rom-com, a romantic comedy. Check it out. Is that Prince Harry and Chris Tucker? Yes, that is Chris Tucker, they tell me. There's actually a video out there, but I just could not seem to get it loaded in time. So probably won't be able to share that with you tonight. But yeah, they were having a fun little chat with each other. And there's actually, I found an account somewhere where it's just like they got some of the best of everything from that night. There was so many celebrities there, as you could imagine. And then, of course, Prince Harry and Duchess Meghan pictured with President, let me get this right, Kagame of Rwanda at the 2026 NBA All-Star Game. I mean, there was just a who's who. And there were certain people you probably wouldn't recognize, but you just kind of could tell, oh, that's somebody important. That's somebody important. So, yeah. Did they have any Rwandans that's playing with either of the teams? I'm going to just guess they are, huh? Anyway, that's who that is. Okay. Moving on. And of course, Anthony Edwards. You know, I always get that wrong. Anthony Edwards. No, Anthony Andrews. Anthony Andrews. Right? Close. I know it's Anthony. Anderson. Why do I doubt myself? I was like, it's Anderson. But I just keep doubting myself. Or I should have just went to the next slide. A beautiful reunion between Prince Harry, Meghan, and Anthony Anderson. And from that, we recall that they were together at when Harry and Meghan won the presidential award from the NAACP. Yes, the NAACP President's Award. When Meghan wore that beautiful blue gown that we've only ever seen. Well, you know what? I would like to say that we've only seen it once, but we've seen a cheap, tawdry knockoff, if you know what I mean. Somebody wore a cheap, and I do mean cheap knockoff. Cheap. I mean, just ratty, cheap, nasty knockoff. Probably billowing in some windows right now, returned back to the windows where they were removed and turned into a dress, only to be sent back to block the light from the room. That cheap dress, worn by a certified lunatic. Yes, a cheap dress with a lunatic, a cheap knockoff of Meghan's beautiful design, which, of course, was created by an African American designer whose name escapes me right now. But yes, the designer was African American. And of course, Anthony's ma. Hey, ma, Megan's mama. Megan brought her mama too. Hey, ma, Megan brought her mama too. Oh, okay. Well, we got to get their phone number. Ma, you can't just be asking everybody for their phone number. Why not? I love that exchange between the two of them. It's hilarious. I think Ma needs her own like reality show. And let me see, what do we have here? People magazine says Meghan, Sussex, and Prince Harry sit courtside next to Hollywood Queen Latifah at the NBA All-Star game. Yes, there was at least one queen there. And that's only because Elton John couldn't make it. So there was only one queen there. But yes, that was our dear sweet Queen Latifah. Meghan was absolutely safe. She was like in an envelope of protection. Harry to her left and Queen Latifah to her right. Queen Latifah, you may recognize from the movie Set It Off, among others. So, yeah, she was quite safe. She couldn't have been safer if she was with two armed Pinkerton guards. That's how safe she is. She couldn't have been safer if she was surrounded by the Delta Force or the Navy SEALs. So, yeah, it says the three could be seen enjoying the game in casual ensembles at the, what is that? The Intuit Dome in Inglewood, California. The Duke and Duchess of Sussex were also spotted out having dinner in Beverly Hills, California on Friday the 13th. You know, they say you're not supposed to go out on Friday the 13th. That could be bad luck. But not for the Sussexes. This is a pretty cool pic. And there's Harry with his suede shoes. Oh, actually, yesterday I had what they wore, didn't I? Maybe I can share that with you. Hard to believe we are magic. Okay. So there's Harry's shoes right there. Patent leather lace-up sneaker. Patent leather, not patent leather, patent leather. Anyway, they're like a green suede. Very cool. And then, of course, there's Meghan's Cartier love bracelet. The, what is that? The Brockchu Walker jumper. And the Veronica Beard trousers. So there we go. Very, very cool. They look casual yet smart. Oh, those two. Oh, you know what? Oh, I'm on the wrong one. I got to go back over here. So, Will's agony. Will's agony. What do they mean by that? Well, I have my Ministry of Hacks guy here. I'll let you hear him put a spin on it.
Davis.
Morning, friends. Happy Sunday. How the heck are you doing? I don't know whether the UK media actually realise this, but they are literally being used as an unpaid PR firm on behalf of the non-working British taxpayer-funded royal family. It's actually off the scale how much the media is manipulated and used by this family. But let's jump into this anyway. This is a story all about Kate's cancer, and we all know why Kate's cancer card is being regurgitated and reused yet again, because it's designed to deflect from the current crisis within the monarchy caused by Andrew, but supported by every single member of this family. And quite simply, the media want to set the narrative of what you viewer, of what you're supposed to believe about the royal family. But watch what they do, not what they say. The nicest thing the press can say about this couple is that they've been married 15 years and they're still in love. Well, I'm sorry, if you need to say that on a regular basis, there's something wrong with the prescription. There's something wrong with the language, and there's something wrong with the story, because force feeding it to members of the public all over the world just feels a little bit odd. That's all I'm going to say. It's odd. The Epstein controversy continues. This family is going to be brought down by further revelations in 2026. Believe me, my opinion's not important. Excuse me. Yours is. Comments are open. Let me know what you think.
Okay, that was Martin from Ministry of Hacks. And he was telling us like it is. Oh, okay. Thank you so much, AM, for the PayPal. And thank you for watching Royal Sussex. Greatly appreciate it. There we go. Let me see. Was it a little message here with that? Nope, not this time. But thank you so much. It's so appreciated. Okay, yes. No message, but thank you. You are very kind. One mother's fight just changed the law. Harry and Meghan, as you know, have been very much involved with the Parents Network. And of course, Archwell, they, if I remember, if I'm quoting this the right way, they were the ones who paid for the memorial, that mobile memorial where they can use those LED screens, which are huge. I'm guessing they're like television monitors. And by put them on the, the portrait side, they are able to create screens that look just like the home screen of the victims whose parents have been fighting for justice for their children, fighting for changes to the policies and the laws that govern what the children are consuming through social media, right? So it's a very moving memorial. I think I shared it I forget how many days ago, but they gave the parents a really rough time in court. declaring that they cannot be openly emotional. They didn't want any outburst, any crying or anything like that. I mean, it was as though they were trying to make sure that nothing would tip the case in the direction of the parents. It seems like the fix was in to defend the corporations and to give them a free pass on the use of the algorithm and such. So that's about the only way I can describe it, but it's a little complicated because most of us, we just don't know what goes into the creation of these platforms. I'm sure there's a lot of computers right now. I picture there's a computer that is warm to the touch. I mean, like you can fry an egg on it because of the level of information that it processes. And it is inspiring that anything can be so efficient, that seems to respond instantaneously to the touch of the screen. And now everybody's walking around with their phones in their hands at one time or another, trying to find directions or trying to get an idea of what the ratings are for this shop or that shop. It's become so important to us. But these kids are growing up with this technology. How does that affect them? How are these kids affected by this technology? So it says on April the 22nd, Ellen Roome is Roome. Ellen Roome's 14-year-old son, Jules, died. Ellen sought access to his social media account to understand what had happened, what he'd been exposed to, what he'd been interacting with. The companies refused, citing data protection policies and terms of service. Ellen could have accepted this. Instead, she dedicated herself and to finding out what happened to her son, which, of course, I say is her right to do. I mean, after all, that was her son. That was her son. And if it was possible to retrieve the information just by having the electronic device, then we wouldn't even be talking about her right now. But it is not possible for so many people because of the privacy settings and such. But her son, obviously not 18 years old or the age of majority, she feels as though she has a right to know. And I'm inclined to agree. A 14-year-old child, she has a right to know. She dedicated herself to finding out what happened to her son and to ensuring no other parent faced the same barriers she did. Today, that persistence became law. The UK government has announced it will table amendments to the crime and policing bills, making Jules' law a reality. It will automatically preserve children's social media data when they die and give bereaved parents direct access. No court order, no corporate gatekeeping. It's the first law of its kind anywhere in the world. Thanks to Jules, or should I say, thanks to Jules' law, a source of evidence can no longer be withheld by a key defendant. The suite of measures announced today also looks critically at rapidly developing AI technology, such as chatbots, and of course, the resulting implications for children. To start, ensuring law stops lagging behind innovations in technology with children and families paying the price. Why this matters? Well, listen, you guys, think about the median age of the United States Congress. There are some fossils in Congress today that were in Congress 50 years ago or something close to that. We have one particular senator that starts glitching. I mean, he literally freezes. He looks directly into the camera and he becomes completely frozen. And he's the head of the Senate. He's the Senate Majority Leader. But thank God for us, it's a slim majority, something that shall be done away with, I'm sure, by January of 2027. I hope, I pray that very slim majority will totally disappear. But that's how old this guy is. And what do you think some of these people know about these electronics, these platforms? The answer is they don't. Very few of them have a working knowledge of social media. They have people on their staff that post things for them as necessary. So you definitely do not want these people setting policy. It should be someone younger with a conscience. We first met Ellen in New York last year, where she shared Jules' story with the same determination that now changed the law. Jules is one of the faces featured in our Lost Screens Memorial, a reminder of why this work matters. Ellen's strength isn't unique. It's what we've seen from every bereaved parent we've worked with. Their grief becomes purpose, their loss becomes advocacy, and now their fight has become law. To parents currently facing the struggle, you should never have been put through this. Change is possible. Ellen has proven it. Change is possible. So we also owe a special thanks to Baroness Beeben Kidron, who helped inspire our own work by championing Ellen's campaign in the Lords. I guess that's the House of Lords, right? She ensured it could actually become law. One parent can change everything. Thousands of families will now have answers because Ellen refused to back down and give up. Thank you, Ellen, and all of our courageous parents. Listen to Ellen tell Jacob's story as part of the Lost Screen Memorial. So there's, let me give you that link. I want to give you that link. I'm going to put the link at the top of the chat. That way you could access it anytime you choose. Okay. There's that. And I'm going to pin that to the top of the chat for your consideration. Okay, there you go. So now you can check that out. It is a very, very moving, what do you call it, thing. So let me get rid of that. All right. Thank you, everyone. And thank you, Parents Network. Let's see. Deborah Anderson says, keep social media safe for kids. Amen. And thank you so much for the super chat. That is so, so important, is to keep it safe for the kids. But yeah, I do believe that parents should be able to access the social media. Why would they not want the parents to have access? The only thing I can think of is that there could be someone out there lurking around that, well, like for lack of a better word, someone may be using coercion. There are some kids that have been blackmailed where they have tried to access money every way they could to satisfy these situations. And unfortunately, some of those kids are no longer with us. Why? Because life seemed unlivable for them because of the pressure that was being put on them. So while they may believe that children have a right to privacy, I just don't agree with that. I believe that the parents should not be left out of this because that gives evildoers an opportunity to fill a void. And then, too, it's up to parents to communicate with their children. I'm not saying that any of these parents haven't done that, but there are opportunities where lives can be saved if parents would open up those lines of communication. So that is another approach that we could take, especially if your kids know they can trust you to be fair and to hear them out, to avoid criticism or judgment for whatever things they're feeling, then of course that's a big win in the battle to save the kids right there. But everybody's family is different, and there's a lot of reasons why things happen. So just something to think about. And if you're a grandparent, you know, use your bully pulpit and advocate for your grandkids. They need you. Okay, we're going to move on. Oh, not quite yet. Just got these two. There is the lady that we were just speaking of right there, and that is her son's screensaver. This is the 14-year-old, and gosh, it just makes me sad to look at this. It really does. But they're being very brave, and they are, allowing the very raw nerves that are their feelings to be exposed to help other people. And for that, I will have to say thank you to those parents. Okay, if you just joined us, make sure you hit the thumbs up. Oh, thank you so much for that. Absolutely. Gosh, what these kids must be up against today. What these kids must be up against. Oh, no, you've been under the weather. I am so sorry to hear that. I'm so sorry to hear that. I can be very dull and give you one of my recommendations, but seriously, I felt like I was coming down with something, and I had the peppermint tea, Meghan's peppermint tea with some of that honey, and it just, I don't know if it's wishful thinking or what, but it just seems like everything turned around. So I don't know what kind of under the weather you are, but if you think that would help, wherever you can find tea and honey, I think that really does work. But anyway, I hope you feel better, and thank you for being with us tonight or this morning. I spoke of this yesterday. I don't have any extra material for this, no new information. Just excited to know that Jonathan Bailey and Ariana Grande was at the Art Institute of Chicago, where they have one of the finest Impressionist painting collections anywhere in the world. And they were there to get inspiration from that George Seurat painting, Sunday in the Park with George. Well, actually, that's not the name of the painting, but that is like a generic name for it. But that park, I tell you, a long time ago, I watched a video that really described some of the things going on in that park you would not believe. I mean, just think of it, a crowded park on a summer's day, and there's a bit of symbolism going on there that will bake your noodle. Do you hear me? It will bake your noodle. I'm like, really? Really? Wow, those people, they weren't playing back in those days, were they? Weren't they afraid of catching something? And I don't mean the fish. Really? So it's I believe there was a blues artist named Coco Taylor who once said it was a wang dang doodle. She even had a song. We're gonna wang dang doodle all night long. Yeah, we're gonna wang dang doodle all night long. Yes, a wang dang doodle. Okay, so cannot wait to see that. Well, William claims that homewards is going to solve homelessness, despite is committing only 0.3% of the cash needed to do so. 0.3% of the cash necessary to end homelessness. Says Williams Homelessness Charity is a PR stunt. William actually did not have a real platform that he stood upon, something that he created himself, something that did not involve his brother until he was about 40 years old or just about to turn 40. So, what am I trying to say? That William has been a total failure when it comes to actually doing something with his platform. I mean, think about his mom. His mom, she died mysteriously at age, what, 36? Was she 36 years old? Think of all of the things that she stood for by age 36. And she was going through a bitter divorce battle. She was in hand to hand combat with the tabloids. She had a lot of things on her plate. And yet she still found time to improve her speaking skills, her public speaking skills. And she still found time to travel in order to promote things like landmine clearance with the Halo Trust. So, what is Williams' excuse? The man who makes £30 million, $30 million a year, and has so little to show for it. Anyway, the guy that you see there, I thought he was hilarious. So I had to dig him out so he can give us an idea of how he feels about Williams' use of his platform. Okay. Hmm. Is that a typo at the bottom of the screen? Seems like it, doesn't it?
King Charles III, Prince of Wales William, who the do you think you are? So 1 week ago, we've had William all over the TV talking about ending homelessness, or let's all work together to defeat homelessness. This week, we find out he's charging charities, the NHS, the Ministry of Defence, schools, councils, rent, and making millions of pounds. Fucking hell, it's not the 1400s. What the Because the way these duchies are set up, they don't pay corporation tax. They make millions of pounds worth of profit and pay zero tax on it. Excuse me, where the fuck is Robin Hood when you need him? Like, it's one thing if you were charging businesses, but charging other government departments, schools, councils, the NHS to park ambulances in a warehouse when they're not in use. Where are your morals gone? Your morals have proceeded like your fucking hairline, William. I mean, seriously, take the money, go to Turkey, get that sorted out. If you're going to, like, you know, live the life of a mafia gangster, at least have the looks to go with it. Do you know what I mean? And yet we spent years attacking Harry and Meghan for earning their money privately. Like, fucking hypocrites. Honestly, enough's enough. That's it. Not my king. Fucking get rid of all of them. William all over the TV talking about ending homelessness, or let's all work together to defeat homelessness.
The first time I heard him say that, I just about fell out the chair. Ending homelessness. Let's
Charities, the NHS, the Ministry of Defence, school TV talking about ending homelessness, or let's all work together to defeat homelessness. This week, we find out he's charged.
That never gets old. I promise you it doesn't. I had my best day since Christmas the first time I saw that. Anyway. Poor Willie. He couldn't help it. He was born with a silver foot in his mouth. Okay, so there you have it, Slick Willie. Now, experts say Princess Kate and Prince William's partnership is crucial to the royal family's future as a couple shares rare Valentine's Day snap. It's crucial to the future of the monarchy, I'm sure. However, at some point, all shall be revealed. It will. You just have to know that someday everything will be revealed. And the fact that these two are not compatible any longer, they are simply not close. Where are the body language experts when these two are out and about? Now, I don't think that they are ever going to divorce. I think that time is come and gone. If you're William, then you know that you had a window of opportunity to divorce, if that's what he wanted to do. If the rumors about a royal divorce in 2024 were true. And if you were Kate, you had one time to get it right, and that is to find some reason that would have made it seem absolutely horrifying that anybody would want to walk away from you. And what better way to do that than a mystery illness? A mystery illness, that which was called abdominal surgery, that which was said to be non-cancerous, that which they said was not being treated as though it was a cancer. That one. It forces everyone to be very careful when they speak about it, because after all, Kate is the English rose, and you're not allowed to violate certain things with the English rose. She's protected. She is protected. Now it was it Troop in the Colors or Royal As? Oh, it was Christmas. It was Christmas. The sun was in just a particular angle where we had a chance to see something going on with the side of her face, just above the temple, something that just didn't look right, like we had never seen it before. So, what does that all mean? I don't know. But I do know that there's been a lot of inconsistencies in their relationship. And sometimes you just don't know where they are with each other. But we do know that the affection, the exchanges, all of the coy looks, fake, 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 fake. It is all contrived. It is very fake. It is nowhere, nowhere the reality of things. Whatever they felt for each other, that dissipated years ago. So, what do we have in that incredibly small print? It says, oh, where are we here? And it says, Valentine's Day is the perfect time to reflect on important relationships and romances. For instance, according to the royal expert, Princess Kate and Prince William's partnership and love story. Okay, one more time. For instance, according to the one royal expert, Princess Kate and Prince William's partnership and love story is integral to the future of the monarchy. And judging by the couple's Valentine's Day, their relationship is stronger than ever. Yeah, their Valentine's Day post proves that their relationship is stronger than ever. And that is why when they took their official Valentine's Day photo, they kind of grimaced at the camera. They were leering at the camera, right? Instead of turning to one another and smiling adoringly, they just kind of gave you this big fake shit-eating grin, and that was supposed to serve as I guess a gesture of love or whatever. But I mean, you saw the picture all over the place. This is what we woke up to. This was supposed to spell doom for the Sussexes because the Waleses, well, they got up one day and decided to be Harry and Meghan. A poor man's Harry and Meghan, but Harry and Meghan. It won't work. It won't work. Anyway, you guys, we talked about this at length yesterday. As you know, we were on for like about 5.5 hours. Myself, Legs, and Karen. Oh, we really went at it. So if you got an errand to run, if you have some menial task that you must execute around the house, find yesterday's Royal Sussex. It's over 5 hours long. And you will have myself and Legs and Hazel Jones to keep you company. I think I was solo for like the first hour or so. And then they chimed in and everything changed for not just the better, but for the greatest. So I love when we have those collabs, and you will too. And most of the stuff is so topical. Do not even worry about it being yesterday's news, because I guarantee you, coming from the three of us, you probably never heard the same perspective before. So definitely worth looking into. Okay. All right. Let me go on to the next thing. Hey, Soul Brother. Thank you for joining us. Prince William and Princess Kate are happy for the public to they are happy for the public to see their new, you mean to tell me they weren't doing this before? Their new touchy-feely gestures, says a royal expert. They are happy. They're so happy that you all are being so voyeuristic and watching them touch each other. Now, honestly, I'd rather be bitten behind by a snagger-tooth bulldog than to watch those two touching each other. I would rather be bit by a raggedy mouth mule than to watch those two. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So there you have it. They're proud of their newfound affection for each other, even if it is contrived and orchestrated. They are super proud and glad to share. And one of their favorites, of course, is touching minority children. They love touching minority children. Okay. Let me see if I can shed some light on this. I want to see if I can shed a little light on their affection. Oh, is that it? Oh, let me try that again. Okay, here goes. Here goes. Here's affection.
Believe this is because she's laughing. Does she laugh?
No. Oh.
No, she ain't laughing.
No,
She's trying to talk and he's trying to touch her. No.
Oh,
Get
that
away.
is an awkward
Yeah, so
moment.
it's like, oh. Believe this is because she's laughing. Does she laugh?
No. Oh.
No, she ain't laughing.
No,
She's trying to talk and he's trying to touch her. No.
Oh,
Get
that
away.
is an awkward
Yeah, so
moment.
it's like, oh.
My goodness. Tell us you don't like someone without saying you don't like someone, or even worse, that you don't approve of someone. Okay. What am I looking for? Oh. I know what it is. I got it. Nobody help me. I got it. No, I don't. Yes, I do. Here we go. This gives you an idea of their fondness and affection for one another. Ready? Here goes. I love that look on her face, the way it changes. As they say, a smile becomes a smirk. A smile becomes a smirk. Maybe William is just a little afraid of her touching him, because after all, she yeah, because she's known for having hands that are practically lethal. I mean, after all, don't forget, Kate Middleton is jazz hands. Yeah, she's jazz hands. And those hands ought to be registered, because they're like weapons as fast as they move. Yeah, she ought to be more conscious of how she touches people with those hands. Those are weapons. Oh man. Hey, Legs. Let me see. Wank doesn't have a fairy tale like Harry and Meghan. William is trying to escape Kate. He kept her on, that is, kept her on the hook as backup. Kate bounced around between him and his friends. Harry and Meghan loved each other from the get-go. Yes, theirs was practically love at first sight. Oh, you mean that super, super long sleeve jacket? Let's see. Some fear malign forces are trying to drive a wedge between the king and his heir. Here's the truth. Well, that is a Rebecca English article, and you know it's just full of spin. So I said, nah, not today. Not today, Satan. But remember I said yesterday, she is one of the main characters that will spin the story in any way possible, so long as William and Kate get to be, the stars. They get to be the most important people in the room, right? And so, for that matter, Rebecca English tends to take license with the actual events in a way to justify them being a no-show, right? Or them going on a vacation. I noticed she didn't say anything about Kate on the ski slopes when she was supposed to be recovering. Oh, yes, she did, because she kept saying she has her good days and bad days, and it's uncertain. She may never come back full time again, and all that kind of crap that she was talking. Oh, she does talk rubbish, doesn't she? And of course, they're on the left side. We should have known that there was a great deal of bad blood between father and son. That is, of course, King Charles III and William the Terrible, because there was so little regard for timing with Charles II. Very little. When she was supposed to, when they were supposed to arrive at the coronation, Will and Kate were late, and Charles was in his carriage cussing to beat the band. They were late because they were doing a photo shoot. The photo shoot was more important than being on time for the first coronation in 70 freaking years. 70 years, there's no coronation. And Will and Kate are making another one of their publicity videos. And I do want you guys to remember this. Not that I said it to you first, because I'm hoping I'm not. Because if you have been watching these spaces for a while, then you know that both William and Kate, they want to do less footwork and do things that have a high moral impact or high financial, whatever. That's how they want to work. They don't really want to go out to these places. They want to do things virtually whenever possible. And they still get to count that as a day's, well, not a day's work, but just whatever they've done to the calendar at that point. That is what she is. Yeah. Anyway, let me see. Prince William and King Charles no longer speaking after candid Eugene Levy interview, says source. That's another strike. And there are numerous strikes in between. But he goes on Canadian television. Well, we were able to see that video here, there, and everywhere. He goes on TV, he goes on whatever streaming, and he tells people over and over and again what he's going to do when he becomes king. Your father is said to have cancer, and he doesn't even want to give his father a chance to make an impact. If someone is telling you, I'm going to change, like let's say the house you live in, right? If you knew that the house you live in would be on the market in, say, 5 years from now, right? Or let's say 3 years from now, if you knew that was going to happen, why would you ever bother to do things like paint? Or why would you fix some of those small repairs? I mean, after all, whoever buys this house is going to completely rip out the kitchen and put what they want in there. They may even tear down the entire house and build something that they find suitable. Remember James Mansfield? Her house is demolished. Remember Betty White? Her house is demolished. And there's so many of these famous addresses. I believe that there's someone who wants to demolish Marilyn Monroe's house, the one where she died. And so if you are the owner, you're feeling a bit underwhelmed because nobody wants to preserve what you worked so hard for. And I think Charles just had enough of it. I mean, this should have happened a long time ago. There's no reason to say that it did not happen a long time ago, but that it has become so public, because I'm afraid that may be the only protection that Charles has. Now, there's very little daylight between those two, but I'd rather be on the king's side of thing as opposed to William. Yeah, I'd rather be on the king's side because William is petty and vicious in ways that Charles never was. I mean, they're both opposite sides of the same coin, but I'm just the idea of William taking the throne is terrifying. And if you're one of those people that say, well, what does that have to do with Harry and Meghan? I should not have to tell you this, but the monarchy, even though it is limping at the moment, is still a very powerful institution. And if you think that they cannot do things to seek revenge or cause you problems, think again, because they can. Their reach is vast. They may be a little more nervous to reach out like they used to, but you just cannot turn your back on that institution. You should never do that, especially if you are technically part of it. Because they are very capable of making your life trouble, hell. They can do that. So for that reason, I do not want the Sussexes to, turn their backs on those people, especially the brother. Let me see. Could you imagine if the only thing that was on your CV is the phrase "gonna be king"? Yes, gonna be king. That's it. That's all he cares about. Gonna be king. Do you have any work experience? Gonna be king. Right. What about any have you ever used Word or gonna be king? Right, right. Um how's your computer skills? Gonna be king. Uh-huh. chairing a meeting, gonna be king. That's all he has to say is gonna be king. Do you currently have a driver's license? Gonna be king. Legs, why you get me started? But that's true. Gonna be king. That is all that matters. Nothing else is important except for Willie's gonna be king. Yeah, so anyway, that is my take on things is you just don't want to turn your back on those misfits. Let me see. Okay, I'm going to move on. Wait. Didn't we do this guy yesterday? Oh yeah, we did. Do we want to hear this again? This guy. You know, the truth is I kind of forgot what he was talking about. Oh, yeah. He was talking about the files. Yeah, you know what? I'm going to go ahead and do this one again. And yeah, I'm going to do that one again because I thought it was kind of important. And it has to do with the use of names, or should I say presenting names of certain people in reference to the Epstein files. So let me go ahead and cue that up and we'll talk about it on the other side. Okay, coming up.
News this evening, I've obtained the letter the Department of Justice is required to send to Congress outlining why it made redactions and provide a list of, quote, politically exposed persons listed in the Epstein files to Congress. Only problem, this letter is designed to muddy the waters over the Epstein files even more, and I'll explain why in a second. So the letter right here, this is the first page, is 6 pages. The first section outlines categories of documents released and withheld, essentially a repeat of the Epstein Files Transparency Act. The more interesting section is the third one, the list of government officials and politically exposed persons. What that means, unclear. But the DOJ listed everyone who is potentially famous in these files, according to them, even if they didn't have a direct connection to Jeffrey Epstein. And why is that dangerous? Well, because it's about to muddy the waters. Because they listed people like Elvis Presley, for example. This is list number 1. You have everyone from Jeb Bush to Merrick Garland to Mick Jagger. You have Marilyn Monroe, Elvis Presley, Prince Harry, and Meghan Markle. And then you have Donald Trump, Ivanka Trump, J.D. Vance, Mark Zuckerberg. Some of these people on the list have a direct connection to Jeffrey Epstein. Donald Trump, for example. But so many people on that list don't have a direct connection to Jeffrey Epstein. For example, if one of their names was mentioned in an email between 2 FBI agents talking about their favorite new movie, and they mention Meghan Markle, and she was starring in the movie. Just an example, this is not a real thing. Her name would technically be in the files and would be on that list. And the DOJ hasn't provided any explanation as to how or where these people are on the list. So in 2 words, it's malicious compliance and it needs to be called out. Spread the word, follow for more. We have breaking news this evening. I've obtained the letter the Department of...
Okay. I took a little stretch. That went a little faster than I thought. So yes, not everyone that is mentioned has anything to do, in some cases, with the monster at all. And we kind of experienced something like this before. Do you guys remember when Harry was mentioned in reference to um, Diddy or Puff Daddy, whatever? They used his name in a way to explain something, even though it is well known that Harry had nothing to do with any of that stuff. Um, but yeah, or how about Lilybeth Diana? They didn't use her name, but they used her birth. Remember the Disney law for the perpetual control of the county of, is it Orlando or whatever that is, that special governing body that they have around Disney World. And according to the law, such as it is, or the ordinance, the law, the ordinance, that the last born grandchild of the future King Charles, whatever it said, that's how long that they would be in control, or before it would come up to a vote or something like that. And do you guys remember what I'm speaking about at all? Because, okay, let me refresh your tea. The Lilybeth Diana Walt Disney law. Okay. A legal maneuver known as a royal clause or King Charles III clause was a strategy used by Walt Disney Company in early 2023 to thwart efforts by Florida Governor Ron DeSantis to gain control over the Reedy Creek Improvement District, now Central Florida Tourism Oversight District. Yeah, so it was clever. Oh my God. Now that I'm refreshing my own memory, do you guys remember Ron DeSantis was trying to go after Disney for being too woke, too liberal, too this, too that, too inclusive? And so he had his bureaucratic lawyers go after some of the legal representatives, some of the scholarly type of barristers that Disney could afford. And let me tell you, they ate their lunch. I mean, they literally took their milk money and dropped them off with nothing to eat or drink. I mean, they had them for lunch. They were outwitted, outsmart, outclassed, out everything. Ron DeSantis looked like a absolute idiot. How dare you challenge Walt Disney? How dare you try to take on the mouse? Huh? How dare you try to? I laughed myself to sleep on several occasions. They had the nerves to try to challenge Disney's complete and utter control over that Reedy Creek. And so the way the law was written, that the youngest grandchild of Charles III, it wouldn't be until 100 years beyond her lifetime that they could ever take control. And that clause that was written in there, what could I say? The lawyers for the state of Florida missed it. They just did not understand what they were looking at. They didn't get it. They were so far out of their level of law practice that it was embarrassing. I was embarrassed for them. I was so embarrassed. Disney aimed to prevent the state appointment board from overturning development agreements that gave Disney control over its property for decades. The strategy: lawyers invoked an archaic legal concept known as the rule against wait a minute, perpetuities. There we go. Oh, you know what? My screen is wet now. Anyway, the rule against perpetuities. This rule generally limits how long a contract can last, often 21 years after the death of a measured life mentioned in the contract. The connection to Lilibet Diana to maximize the length of this contract, Disney's legal team identified a measuring life that would likely live for a very long time, and the descendants of King Charles III. The specific clause: the agreement was tied to the lives of Charles' children and grandchildren, including Prince William and Harry and their children, Prince George, Princess Charlotte, Prince Louis, Prince Archie, and Princess Lilibet. The result: by anchoring the contract to the youngest member of the British royal family, specifically mentioned Princess Lilibet, Disney ensured the agreement would remain valid for decades, potentially lasting until the last of those individuals pass away. So that means all of the grandchildren until the last of those individuals. All of this is being measured against King Charles III's grandchildren. The move was considered clever, if bizarre, legal maneuver to maintain sovereignty over Florida theme park during a high-profile political dispute. Where's Hazel Jones at? Because this is so messy. I don't like to share stuff like this without Hazel, because y'all know she loves messiness. But yeah, that is what the mouse pulled. And there was absolutely nothing, and I do mean nothing, that Ron DeSantis could do. Did they try to take that to the Supreme Court? And the court was like, we don't help people for being dumb. We don't take into account your ineptitude or silliness or your lacking. We don't measure against that. We measure against the king's grandchildren. Duh. Oh, Lord, I tell you, that was one for the record books. And I have had some feelings about the Disney Corporation in recent years, but I have to give credit where credit is due. That was shrewd. That was brilliant. And putting it past those lawyers that just missed it. They missed it. Yep. Rumple of the Bailey. That's what they probably used, the legal protection guaranteed by Rumple of the Bailey. Or what's another one? This seems like something Abraham Lincoln would have done. And it's legal, you guys. It is absolutely legal. It's legally binding. Disney will be in control of a huge portion of Central Florida until they don't want to be. Okay? Ron DeSantis will be long gone, and Disney will still have control over that entire district. You just couldn't make up something like this. You could not make it up. Oh, thank you so much, MS for the PayPal. Thank you. I almost missed that, but thank you very much. Oh, is it? Oh, well, I hope you enjoy it. If you are going to that, I hope you enjoy it. Thank you so much. I didn't know they had that. Let's see. Oh, thank you so much, Edith Pedersen. Thank you so much for the super sticker. Yeah, thank you so for the super sticker. Hey, VS Speaks Royally. How are you? Such a long time. I'm so glad you're here. Okay, so there you have it, you guys. Thanks for letting me take this trip down memory lane with the whole Ron DeSantis thing. I hadn't thought about that in forever. And that really gave me my life. That really gave me my life. That the governor of Florida and all of their legal representation was not enough to outwit the Disney Corporation. They should have hired some people. They should have brought people in. They should have brought in some of the best legal minds across the country. But instead, they used cronyism. They went and found anybody that had a law degree, and they put them up against the best and the brightest. And they handed their lunch to them. They handed their asses to them. It was like fire and music. You should have been there. It was like fire and music. Okay. Moving on. It was messy. Messy AF. Messy AF. Now, exclusive extract. This is what I was speaking of, that Russell Myers book. Prince William's pain at losing Harry and Kate's 3-word Meghan verdict. 3-word Meghan verdict. She needn't bother. It's not like we're going to understand. Whatever she says, it's not like it's going to mean anything because we won't understand what she's saying. Especially if it sounds anything remotely like this.
You'll face the daily challenge of finding the balance between profitability and having a positive impact. Leaders,
what?
You'll face the daily challenge of finding the balance between profitability and having a positive impact.
Okay. Well, you know what? She's come a long way since she first married into that family, because I remember when she used to struggle with public speaking. I remember when she used to struggle, but she's so much better. I mean, if you can compare this between the other time that she spoke publicly, you'll find that there's a high probability that she is greatly improved. So anyway, there's a high probability. Probability, that's when you buy something for your garden and you want to make sure that you can transfer it to another pot. That is called probability. It's a word that has two meanings. Clearly, it has two meanings. Oh, Lord. You're no good. You're no good. You're no good. Baby, you're no good. I'm gonna say it again. You're no good. You're no good. You're no good. Baby, you're no good. Thank you. Thank you. Anyway, to give you an idea of how much she has improved since she first married into that family, think about this.
Well, obviously, it'd be. I would love to have met her, and she's obviously she's an inspirational woman to look up to. Obviously, on to this day, and going forward and things. It is. It's a wonderful family. The members who I've met have achieved a lot, and very inspirational. So, yeah, I do.
You do what, girl? What do you do? Who do you do? What, you do what? Please tell us, because I'm just not sure. I'm just not sure. Anyway, there you have it. One of the greatest orators of our time. Let me see. No, that's a different palatability. I think that the Daily Mirror, I believe they are trolling Kate Middleton, and I believe they're trolling William. Why are they using this photo? Of all the photos that they could use to make their case against Harry and whomever, of all the ways that they could make their point, why would they use this photo? Why? A photo where Kate appears to be lusting for her brother-in-law, allegedly. A photo where William seems to be suffering from feelings of inadequacy. And let me see what else is going on here. Yeah, but nope. Yep, I don't think that was the right photo to use, unless you're trying to send a message, unless you're trying to say that you know something that we don't. That'd be like if I were to use this photo. If I was writing an article and I wanted to put maybe one or two members of the family on the spot, maybe I would use this photo, right? Maybe. I don't know. But it seems to tell a lot, and it seems like it runs the possibility of becoming, yeah. So they're trolling the Wellses. They are clearly trolling those people, and they are just too naive to know better, or somebody called them and probably told the newspaper, you know what, got to change that picture. Got to change that picture. First, they'll think that this is the one that's in the article, only to find out that nope, it's even worse than you thought. Yep, there you go. Lust. Looking upon her brother-in-law with lust, allegedly, lust in her heart. Doesn't seem natural to me. Okay, moving on. Now, Will's agony. What, pray tell, is his agony? It has been reported that he's belly aching about Kate's situation. I'm not going to go into the same details we did last night, but again, I insist that you do go and take a look at the Royal Sussex from last night. It's easy to find. It's the one that's over 5 hours in length. Yeah. That is how you will get the lowdown on that, because this whole Kate illness thing, it just has so many holes in it. You could just drive a whole lorry through it, because it was evolving, it was changing. It wasn't this, it was that. So, yeah, I'll let you ponder on that. But go to yesterday's Royal Sussex and all shall be revealed. We'll give our opinions about the timeline, about the reason for the illness. And we didn't talk about the motorcade, but that is not so important to the story. It was just kind of how things started rolling, but it wasn't required to tell the story we needed to tell it. So, yeah, there you go. But I will do this one. Let's see here. Candace Holmes says William's state of disbelief became today's headlines, while Meghan simply shares a photo of Harry holding their daughter. One man exploits his wife's cancer for PR sympathy. The other just loves his family publicly. Ooh, this lady is always socking it to them. Let me see. Is it a Allegelli? Allegelli. Oh well. It's not illegal. Well, anyway. It says here, Will's agony, my foot. What about the agony of seeing their faces on every other tweet? So phony. And no, it doesn't distract from Andrew, etc. Okay, there you have it. It's not a distraction from Andrew, if that's what they were hoping for. And of course, part of that was yesterday's attempt to spin to distract from us from the that right there, oh gosh, the perverted stuff to distract us from those perverts. The perverts' connection to Earthflop didn't do what they thought were going to happen. They were hoping. So let me see. They decided to revert back to Kate's alleged cancer. They must really think the UK public are stupid. This won't work either. So what's next, KP? Wow. I'm just really floored by the fact that so many people are calling them out about the cancer. That so many people just refuses to believe them. Okay. Okay, MS, did you just send me another PayPal? It looks like you did. Well, I thank you very much for that. And I think you asked me if it works. It seems to work just fine. But listen, if you want to keep if you want to keep trying it, you go right ahead, girl. You know what you're doing. You go right ahead. As a matter of fact, if all of you all want to try to PayPal just to make sure it's working, but yeah, it does work. I do thank you for that. But I ain't in no condition to stop you. Just keep trying to make it work, I guess. Okay. Let me see. Where did I leave off at? Yeah, I guess I was done with that. Keep smiling, keep trying, knowing that you'll always carry through. That's true. That's what PayPal is for Cash App. And buy me a coffee. I will be here till they find Gaddafi. That's look, I needed something that rhymed. I was desperate. I needed something to rhyme. Oh no, Jesse Jackson passed away, huh? Well, let me verify that because sometimes they be messing around with the news. Oh yeah, looks like it's official. Jesse Jackson, civil rights icon and protege of Martin Luther King Jr., dies age 84. Wow. I tell you, nobody could really rhyme the way he could. You know that? I used to love when he would do his I am somebody. I am somebody. Yeah. Jesse Jackson. Wow. That's something else. Well, may he rest in power. May he rest in power. Okay. The Ministry of Propaganda. The Ministry of Propaganda. What is that propaganda ministry? Well, it says here BBC branded state propaganda channel after latest royal coverage. Revealed royal family has power to censor BBC coronation coverage. Well, I know the one on the right is true, but what are they saying about here on the left? Listen, I do believe that the BBC has a great reputation around the world for news. There was a time when CNN also had a great reputation. But in this age of ultra right conservative politics, there's a lot of people that have infiltrated these news agencies. In some cases, they just completely buy them out and turn them as conservative as people can tolerate. And the BBC is very trusted in spite of what anybody thinks the BBC, they are more trusted than just about any other news service out there. And that says a lot. And I mean trusted by the majority of people in the world. No matter what people think of the British government, there are people that will always, always have confidence in the BBC. However, there's always room for improvement. Always. All of these news agencies nowadays have let us down, and corruption seems to have found its way across the board. So, every time something like this happens, like them trying to sanitize the coronation or them trying to cover for Prince William, it takes something away from them that they just cannot get back. It's a loss of prestige. But post coronation, there was a directive, an order, if you will, an order from Clarence House, from Buckingham Palace, Clarence House, ordering the BBC to rid any material that demonstrated protest on the day of the coronation. They did not want any of it. Well, they wanted to make sure that history always reflects that Charles had the coronation that he always wanted, right? That he always expected. But they literally took a scalpel to it. And certain things, you would have trouble finding them now. They did a purge for the sake of the palace, which I thought, or which I believe, should I say, is totally unfair. A sanitized version of the coronation, but they gave the palace what they wanted. And why did they do that? In exchange for access. You do as we say, or you run the risk of losing access. Like, for instance, William decided, or let's say William and Kate decided, because of the Panorama debacle, that they would no longer use the BBC for the Christmas Carol, one of the most boring things on television. They said no. They said they're not going to use them anymore. They moved over to ITV, I believe, because of William's anger with the BBC. It was very capricious and short-sighted, but he did what he wanted to do. But he's going to be king, so he can do those things. He's going to be king, so he can get away with stuff like that. Works for Charles, and they both, in their own way, have done those things in the last few years. They've been throwing their weight around. They get legal favor that's not available to the average citizen or subject. Channel 4 News cancels Prince Charles' interview due to draconian demands. Now, Channel 4 was like, go to hell. Go to hell. Charles made all these demands, and they said, you know what? There won't be an interview. See ya. Yep, there won't be an interview, sir. Sir. There won't be an interview. How about that? Charles started throwing his weight around, and Channel 4 said, go to hell. which is their right to do. They did not want to go through the humiliation of having the Prince of Wales at the time dictate the interview. Otherwise, they would essentially be another propaganda wing. So Channel 4 said,
"Ain't nobody got time for that."
Yeah. What was that, Channel 4?
"Ain't nobody got time for that."
Yeah, Channel 4 said, ain't nobody got time for that. And so that was it.
Face the daily challenge of finding the balance between profitability and having a positive impact.
Yeah. The daily challenge. Hazel Jones, good morning to you. Hazel, we lost Jesse Jackson last night. I guess it was last night or yesterday evening. He's gone to that big Operation Push in the Sky. The people united to help save humanity. Operation Push. And then there's this spot of bother. Kelly Osbourne. Oh, what has happened to Kelly? What's it all about, Kelly? Have you criticized Prince Harry enough? You know, she was saying that Harry needs to get over it and that he shouldn't speak about his mother anymore. But now that she looks rather odd to most people, she is somewhat confused why people do not leave her alone and let her grieve her father in peace. She said, haven't you seen grief before? As a matter of fact, we have. We just didn't see the entitled, what do you call it? The entitled length of it that she has. No, we're not used to that. We thought we were supposed to cut it off when somebody else tells us to cut it off. That is a screenshot of her on the right side. She went through one of the, the Grammy Awards looking like a ghost. The ghost of the Osbournes' past. And it was frightening. I was like, I hope little kids aren't watching. Look at there. That's Kelly Osbourne. One more time. See her? She's right behind her mom. This is the person that was so critical of Prince Harry. This is the person who said, who's going to clean our toilets? Yeah. She was speaking about deportation. If you deport them, who's going to clean our toilets? That's what she said. Who's going to clean our toilets? It does kind of remind you of Tim Burton, right? I'm starting to see like a Tim Burton movie. I am really seeing Tim Burton. That's what I'm seeing is Tim Burton. The work of Tim Burton. Anyway, that's what she has to offer. That is her incredible insight to the world, is that you should allow her to grieve as she please. But when it comes to Prince Harry, then you have to do as she says. Yeah. Leave her to her grief. But judge Prince Harry for whatever he's feeling or thinking or doing. I'm just glad that her loss was not in a tunnel in Paris, right? I don't know how her father's transition was made, but I'm assuming he was not chased by paparazzi. Yeah, that's all. Otherwise, it's much worse if you knew that your parent had been chased by a bunch of thugs with cameras. Anyway, guess what? I am done for tonight, but I do want to share something with you guys of Jesse Jackson's, if I can find it here. It was an introduction that he made for Aretha Franklin on one of her albums. And I thought it was so beautiful. I hope this is the right version. But I'll share that with you. I thought it was just one of the most beautiful things. Jesse Jackson was a lot of things to a lot of people. And I know some people who have absolutely no use for him ever. And they thought he was awful long before that thing he said about Barack Obama on the open mic. I am far more charitable. I don't have a strong opinion about him one way or the other. He's just Jesse Jackson. Kind of like a backdrop to my childhood. Yeah. So yeah, that's what I get from it. Kind of like a backdrop to my childhood. Someone from the past. Jesse Jackson. So anyway, if you need to go, I will say goodnight to you. I'm going to try to put this together. I thought it would be nice to put a photo of him on the screen. There we go. And then as for the other thing that I mentioned, let me see here. Oh, okay. Here it is. It says, as we grew up in our tradition, when it was dark, the Lord was our light and our salvation. The Lord was the strength of our lives. We thank God for Jesus. We even thank God for evil. It helped us to appreciate just what good we all are. We've learned to say we are grateful in the earliest of our existence, even though right now we're grateful. We learned our lesson in the wilderness. We are grateful. We can look back on slavery and we can close our eyes and wonder how we got over. And we're grateful. We had been bound in the grave, but we conquered the grave, and we are grateful. We have been crucified, but the stone has been rolled away, and it's Easter morning, and we're grateful. All this talent that God has given us and the chance to glorify his name, and we're grateful. We serve a God tonight that is so great and so big and so wonderful. And once you know God, everything else is livable. No mountain is too high, no valley too low, no water too wet, and no winter too cold. We say, Almighty God, so our heads are high, our chests are out, and joy bells are ringing in our souls. And we're glad about it. And that was a Jesse Jackson introduction to a Aretha Franklin album, One Lord, One Faith, One Baptism, one of my favorite gospel albums. And Jesse Jackson, I do believe he won a Grammy for that, for the spoken word. Miss Z says, when they ask where you were when Jesse Jackson passed, you can say Royal Sussex. Thank you, Miss Z. I really, really, really do appreciate that. That is very kind of you to say that. And thank you for the super chat. Okay, so that is that for today. Thank you, everyone. And I'm sure we'll be hearing a lot about the Reverend in the next few days. Well, I tell you one thing about Jesse Jackson, he is one of those reverends that really became part of pop culture. Yep. Whatever you think of him, the man has somehow become a part of pop culture, definitely a part of our history. Oh, let's see. Baron, can you please give flowers to the Duchess of Sussex for giving us peace from the three Markles and Caroline? Her letter to the embassy was a blessing in disguise. Yes, yes, absolutely. We will give her some flowers for that. Yeah, hallelujah, hallelujah. We're going to see the King. Hallelujah. All right, let me see here. Good night, VS Speaks Royally. Thanks for stopping by. Good night, everyone. Okay, I am not going to drag it out today. I'm going to say good night and try to catch up on some news here so I can see what's happening with the good Reverend. Impartiality? Whose impartiality? Now, see, I'm being nosy. I'm going to be here for another hour. Oh, okay. Thank you, Ingrid Soares. Oh, and by the way, thank you all for your memberships to Royal Sussex. Believe me, at a time like this, it is invaluable. Thank you all very much. Love you guys. I'll see you all next time.